played against a Toon Link. He played against Schwa.
Yeah.
And he missed 3 or 4 grabs that were just neutral get-ups in a row because he wasn't normally being aggressive, so he looked a little antsy. So I talked to him after, like, in between games 1 and 2 because Schwa had a coach. So I was like, Big Mac, what gives? He goes, dude, I'm so triggered. I cannot get these grabs. So he just switched to Falcon and just decided, you know what, screw it. So
that seems to have been the story with Big Mac recently, where if he's not doing too hot, then that's the switch over to Falcon. And I've been noticing that he's been making an effort to, play a little bit more on the defensive, because, playing more defensive, it's never a bad thing, especially in a game where a lot of characters rely on defensive options. It's a good thing to practice. Yeah. And it's also, not only does it help the play in terms of one aspect of your play, it also helps a lot with nerves too. Because it also trains us like, okay, well, if you're going to play like this, you also got to be, in the zone. So you got to calm down. You got to think about things from a defensive, standpoint. You can't just go in rushing all the time.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, that was almost there, but Dan drifting just away from the sweet spot of that up smash.
Yeah, Big Mac throwing the needles the wrong direction, allowing Dan to get in. Other than that, Big Mac pretty much hadn't approached Dan much. He was letting Dan come to him. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, that one conversion almost turned into a stock. Great power shield on that forward smash. Absolutely would have killed that far off on the taxi platform.
That was a really clutch parry, but it doesn't matter because Dan is just going to dunk him. And again, he's trying for the up smash to cover the landing.
Yeah, never feels good to get dumpstered.
It never does. And now you're starting to see the aggression come out of Big Mac.
Ooh, good.
Another good call out.
It was a very good call out. Gets him with the 50-50, read the air dodge.
Usually this is how this matchup goes. Like, Dan and Big Mac, they always go back and forth. And usually that's how they go back and forth. One player does something cool. It's just like, all right, I got you. Like, watch this.
All right, good damage conversions here from Big Mac for pretty much the entirety of the stock. Dan having problems getting in once again. I'm liking
Big Mac's use of Nair anytime that Dan is coming down with Fireball because it's actually going through both the Fireball and hitting Dan at the same time. That's really good.
All right, Big Mac making it back. That looked bad for a second because he fast fell on accident.
That was really low. He got down there. Right, shield grab.
He's looking for the up tilt on the taxi platform to go for up air. Or sorry, the forward tilt.
He's got to be careful on that taxi platform, though, because Dan's also got some options on there that will end up turning the tables, so he can't really let Dan get those reversals on him. And now Dan's starting to jump out of the forward tilt pressure. Instead of going under, instead of air dodging out of it, he's starting to jump out of it because he knows that Big Mac's going to be looking for any sort of air dodge read, that up smash going to be waiting.
That was really smart from Dan to flood Big Mac off of the taxi platform and force him to recover. Low, because then he was able to read him with the up smash coming off of the ledge.
The one thing that Dan just
good delay
most of the time is just positioning. He's displaying that really nicely in this match. Forward air, Big Mac getting the center stage. Dan gonna be making it back on that platform. Needle step bouncing fish, and
that's gonna take it.
Close it out. That was really good. Calling out Dan, going down from the taxi platform. He knew that the approach was coming. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah, this matchup contingents on pretty much you get a grab, maximum damage off of your grab combos. You saw a million more tilts in this game than you would see in most other games. You saw a down throw and 4 up tilts from Dan grabbing Big Mac right after Big Mac had just hit him with 4 forward tilts into a fair. So the way they get damage looks very, very similar. You can get a grab or you can get one move and convert it into 50, 60%.
Bouncing fish the wrong way to start off.
One forward tilt regrab is so good.
I've been seeing him doing that a lot more recently. That's like, once again, Big Mac is one of those Sheiks where he throws out these aggressive options that you're just, not like right there. Like, once again, he's just, instead of like trying to play around the fireball pressure landing, he's just throwing out neutral air and powering through both the fireball and also getting the extended hit on Dan.
A lot of that is good matchup knowledge as well, knowing that you can just neutral air straight through the fireball. Not every Sheik player would look at that and say, okay, I'm just going to go straight at you even though you put up a wall.
We tried to get him up on the top platform, but good power shield to get out of this situation. Grenade on the third platform down there. Starting to get these air dodges. Dan's going to be careful because eventually Big Mac's going to pick up on it. You see the conditioning that Big Mac's trying to put under. It's starting to work a little bit. He's getting these air dodges, but every single time that he was in an opportunity to convert, he's not been converting.
Yeah, Dan doing everything he can to rack up damage here and bring the stock back. He was pretty far behind, and now this is looking very, very even. Big Mac having difficulty closing it out. He had a couple of opportunities off of forward tilts, but Dan wisely DIing them, jumping away from any possible 50-50.
Ooh, that was a very risky up smash there. Just these little exchanges, these like whiffed from spot dodges, the jabs, the quick moves that come out, one after the other.
All right, Dan is now out of forward tilt into up air range, and the falling off of the empty hop into the up smash, that is not going to feel good.
Just eventually it works. Like that's the Mario meta, where if you see them jumping, if you think you can get it to connect, just go for it.
All right, Big Mac's got to figure out a way to close out the stock.
And quick is Dan is the master of keeping momentum when it's in his favor.
Yeah, he's also very good at not dying. He's usually the stock tank in doubles, and it shows, you know, in the singles game because it's very, very hard to finish stocks against him a lot of the time.
Gets a back throw. He's got him in that edge guard. Tries to get the back air. Not going to quite do it, and also misses the vanish. He was in a very scary situation over there.
That was
make it back to stage.
That was a really good recovery by Dan. Big Mac threw out a lot of potential kill hitboxes, and they just did not convert. Up smash,
Ooh,
got a kill.
Just barely, it got him.
He had exactly max rage at 150.
So Dan with the 2 stock, staying alive on Battlefield, and we're going to game 3.
That matchup becomes much more difficult on Battlefield because a lot of your options to finish off stocks are just not there because of the way the percentages work.
Yeah.
And Dan capitalizing on the size of the stage.
Yeah, that was smart play from both of them, and Big Mac, you could tell that he was just, as the game went on, it was just harder and harder for him, not only to get in, but just try to find that one move, maybe that one forward tilt that he needed to close out that stock.
All right, now this is the polar opposite. We're going to Town and City where the ceiling's kind of low, and we will see if Big Mac can close out early stocks or if Dan's going to continue his momentum and take this set.
Oh, that was a beautiful opening string. You notice that that actually worked even better because he caught Dan while the platform was rising, so all Big Mac had to do was just throw out that forward tilt, carry him up.
All right, Big Mac opens up a pretty big lead. But as we both know, Mario can change that with pretty much one grab. That's just the way it goes. Another fair. Dan having a very difficult time breathing. He can't seem to make it back to center stage, but that grab.
He gets that grab. Here we go.
3 up tilts, 2 up airs.
All of a sudden, this
Another
is looking a little bit like Dan's the highlight reel, because once he gets in that zone, he'll just find that one string he needs to get all that damage back and maybe even find one opportunity to style on him a little bit. You never want to play with Dan when he's playing from behind because he'll pull out some pretty fancy stuff.
All right, Big Mac going deep once again. Can't seem to get Dan when he's going off stage. Dan has been recovering very wisely, going as low as possible, not letting Big Mac punish him in that way.
Really smart DI from Big Mac, avoiding the but no
hard
avoiding that
smash.
Yeah, fell into the palms.
All right,
and again, but that
no rage.
No rage, and also it hit a weird part of that hitbox. I was not expecting it to send it at that angle. I'm pretty sure if he hit it on Dan's left side, then that would have killed because he was closer to the upper left, or no, the upper right. But the down air.
Very smart, just to get back on stage, not give Dan the momentum that he got the last time he had gotten a grab.
You're starting to see some, I want to say, desperation plays from Big Mac because he was looking to edge guard Dan with the forward smash.
Yeah, 177%. I mean, Dan has now officially tanked over 300 damage and not lost a stock in the last 2 games.
And Big Mac, he's just trying to keep his bearings, but forward air on shield, not that safe, and up on that platform, Big Mac's going to be able to seal it out.
Good grab from Dan. Going to try to convert it here. Big Mac's got a little bit of a mountain to climb. At least he will have rage on this final stock.
It's pivot needles. Perfect shields are starting to come alive from Big Mac.
Good re-grab there. Try to get damage. Dan wisely jumping out of it. Gets way off stage.
Catches the jabs on shield and just barely. Big Mac escaping with his life, and he's still in this. Nice use of the nair to cover that roll on back on the stage.
Another good tilt. Keeping the string alive. Now this game is very even. Last stock, game 3. Everyone's favorite situation.
Yeah,
What's going to happen?
It's the heart attack. It's all a matter of, oh, but he stayed in shield for a little too long, and Dan's going to capitalize on that. He has the stage now. Up smash not going to connect. Down throw.
Also not going to connect with the forward air. Big Mac just trying to land. Dan wasn't allowing it for a little while.
Big Mac's going to be careful because he's in the percent where he really can't challenge Mario from a jump in.
Oh,
and the whiff dash grab, and you could see it. You could see it.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a missed input. He did not want to dash into needle charge, and that was unfortunately what came out. I think he hit B and A at the same time. I think he tried to pivot, push A, and he pushed AB.
That's... Yeah, like... Yeah, I mean, yeah, Dan's talking about, it's like, well, I mean, I would have been a 2-stock, but I fared to shield on the platform. I mean, he was playing really smart that whole entire set. Like, at that first game, it was a little bit of a wash, but as Dan was getting into his groove, he just was punishing Big Mac for going, like, once again, Big Mac was, I guess, not playing too defensively.
He wasn't at all. He started out defensive. He took the first game because he was playing defensively, and it looked like Dan's strategy was pretty much eventually you're going to attack me because that's your nature, and that's exactly what wound up happening towards the end of game 2. It stayed that way all into the third game, and Big Mac winds up losing the set, probably.